Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. And welcome to Smash Saturday, where I talk about all things Smash related until we get a new Smash game, whether it be Smash Ultimate Deluxe or Smash 6. Today I want to talk about everything wrong with Pyra and Mythra. I've been doing this series for a couple weeks now. If you haven't checked it out before, I did Steve and Sonic, and now moving on to Pyra and Mythra, because they're seen as some of the best characters in the entire game. They are played as a tandem. If you're not keyed into like Smash Brothers or the DLC or the competitive scene, you can switch between them very freely. This is the first huge mechanic that makes them incredibly strong. The fact that you can press down B and switch between them essentially gives you a free air dodge in the air. Now, if you're not familiar with Smash 4 had infinite air dodging, as it were. You could neutral air dodge multiple times on the way down. They didn't have directional air dodging that game, but they compensated for that by giving you multiple air dodges. In this game, you can only air dodge once, whether that be directional or neutral. But Pyra and Mythra, when you do down B, it gives you invincibility. It lets everything pass through you, so it's essentially an air dodge, but you can do it rapidly back to back to back. This is much superior to something like Pokemon Trainer's mechanic, where it was frame one for them, but it's very laggy, and it's really, it takes a long time before you can switch to the next Pokemon. If you switch between Pyra and Mythra, it's really quick. It's like snapping your fingers. It goes right back and forth. This can also change your air speed, like it can change your momentum while you're in the air, while you're drifting back to stage, giving you a lot of options to mix up your opponent. Am I going to do Mythra and get her slower up B that has more range, or am I going to get Pyra who can go straight up really high and go really fast and kind of juke you out that way? There's just a lot of mix and a lot of able to get out of disadvantage super easily for Pyra and Mythra. The switching mechanic is really crazy, and I'm pretty surprised that it came out that way, that Sakurai let it be that broken, because again, like Pokemon Trainer, the switch takes a long time. The switch itself doesn't take a long time, but then being able to switch again takes a long time. So Pyra and Mythra just have this thing that they can abuse very freely, and there's no punishment for it. It doesn't like scale like rolling does or anything like that. It doesn't get slower the more you use it. It just can be used infinitely and can be spammed in the air. So getting out of disadvantage is actually pretty easy with this character. It's hard to read what she's going to do, and it can be really, really annoying. But let's start with Mythra first. This was seen as the heavy hitter of the two, which is funny since Mythra's knockback is significantly lower than Pyra's. But most people saw this character when it first got released or revealed as the much stronger variant. Super fast, disjointed, has crazy combo potential, and can just really abuse advantage state more than anything. So why would you ever switch to Pyra who's much slower and it's much easier to read, much easier to get out of like their combos and disadvantage state against Pyra? But now we're starting to see that they're both incredibly strong. But we'll talk about Mythra first here. Like I said before, she is incredibly fast. She's like Sheik levels of fast, but also has a disjoint. She can do combos like Sheik, but she also has a disjoint. Every one of her aerials is safe just like Sheik, and they're safer because she has disjoints. If you're following here, you can tell that her sword is incredibly strong. It's super fast. You can up tilt multiple times on shield, especially if you're facing away from them, and be incredibly safe. If you space your moves really, really well, it's incredibly hard to abuse Mythra. She does very little. She commits very little, especially if you're using Nair. Nair has a splash landing box too, so if you're landing with the aerial, instead of having it end when you land on the ground, it actually has a hitbox when you land as well, which I think is a stupid mechanic that they need to get rid of for Smash 6, but I digress here. It has a splash hitbox and narrow combos very, very well into itself or into the other aerials in her kit. In fact, everything seems to combo into itself. If you do down tilt into up tilt, into nair, into like, you could do down tilt into back air, into up B, there's so much you can do, and because her aerials are so safe, she has crazy bread and butter potential. She can get you up to very high percents with very little risk and a lot of mix as well. If you're using something like Nair, you can cross up shield super easily, and it can be really annoying to deal with. Not only that, her aerials do just enough knockback to put you in a bad position for getting juggled even more. Her up air is incredibly safe and incredibly fast, can be comboed into itself multiple times, especially with platform extensions, and can rack up a ton of damage. And will typically combo into something like up B that's going to put you in disadvantage for longer than Mythra is, and then it's just going to be this vicious cycle of trying to get in and out of weaving in and out of her hitboxes and trying to punish her for doing anything remotely unsafe. The only really unsafe thing she has is dash attack, but it's nearly unreactable. It's so fast and so huge, it's hard to even think about it. You have to be thinking about it all the time, which allows her to run up and grab you. Her grab is actually like a mini tether grab for some unknowable reason here. She has like a small tether grab. Her and Pyra both have it. It's so weird. I don't understand why they do, but their grab is incredibly threatening. They have combos out of grab because, of course, they do. They can just do a lot to mix you up. If they do dash attack, you're probably not ready to punish her for doing it. And if they catch you with it, they can put you in disadvantage. In just the right state, they can do another dash attack right away and be far enough away from you to, if they whiff, it's not a big deal. And if they hit you, they're putting you off stage typically. Also, their smash attacks are incredibly strong. Now, Mythras, they got nerfed a little bit. They nerfed the up air and I think it was the forward smash, because they were a little bit too strong at launch and they were killing way too early. This is a character that's not supposed to be able to kill you early at all, but F smash is still incredibly huge. It has a lot of priority. It will go through projectiles and such. It doesn't clank like traditional things typically do. It usually will go through it unless it's a big enough projectile or a big enough hitbox that comes out. It will usually go right through and it will clip. It will 2-frame at the ledge. It will go through most moves and it will just send you at a very bad angle. Same thing with up air. Up air is just incredibly strong. It's a great juggling tool. It'll keep you in disadvantage for a very long time. And there's not a lot of things that beat it. It doesn't lose out to very much at all. It's very, very scary. Her down smash is super fast. Doesn't have a lot of lag. Her up smash scoops pretty well. Again, doesn't have a lot of lag. It's probably her best killing option on stage, unless you're getting just a crazy read F smash or something like that. But one thing that she does have that's very, very strong is her up B off of stage. If she does this off stage while you're trying to recover, she can usually clip you at the start of it and then hit you with the projectile that comes out. If you just let it do its normal thing, it shoots 1 beam at you. If you hold it down, it will do 5 little ones, and they can all gimp you at very low percents or trap you in an endless loop. And if you've used any of your resources, you're probably stuck until you can hopefully have her mess up or just be able to get at the right angle and get back to stage, or you just lose your stock. Mythra can take stocks much better than most of the cast, despite her not supposed to be able to do that. She is incredibly strong in so many ways, but Pyra over time has kind of steadily risen as an incredibly strong mate for Mythra, and I think in a lot of ways is much better than Mythra. Mythra is great at attacking on damage. She does have a few kill confirms. I didn't even talk about neutral B. If you charge neutral B, it's practically lagless. It has such a huge hitbox when it comes out. You can combo into it with like down tilt into it, and it can kill pretty darn early. It's really, really strong. So there is some combo potential there and a lot of kill potential there. But Pyra is stronger in a lot of ways, not just in her knockback, because her knockback is kind of insane, but she also has more active hitboxes. Whereas Mythra is really fast and her aerials don't linger very long, Pyra is the exact opposite. Her aerials are very slow, sure, but they linger for a very, very long time. If you throw out a forward air or a back air, it's going out long enough that you have to time your air dodge pretty much perfectly, or you're going to get clipped by it. You're going to come out of invincibility and still get hit by the aerials. I don't know who thought this was okay. The aerials themselves are already enormous. They're bigger than practically anything else in the game, rivaling like Cloud in terms of how big the hitbox is. Sephiroth's sure are very long. These are huge and have incredibly strong sweet spots and sour spots. If you hit with up air, it's probably going to kill you at absurd levels. I saw one tournament set where a Pyra killed a hero. It was at 36%, coming down just barely out of the blast zone and died off the top. It wasn't great DI, but even if it was, it should not be that close to killing you at 36%. I think it was on Battlefield as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was small Battlefield. Either way, it should not be killing anywhere close to that percent, even with rage. And because it's so active, again, you have to time your air dodges very well. So that means that the Pyra can wait and be patient and bait out air dodges and then clip you as something too. It's an incredible frame trap, and it's too abusable. It's just that crazy, the active hitboxes on this. If you look at someone like Lucina or Marth, if you look at their down air, their spike hitbox is 1 frame, and it's really precise, really hard to hit. Pyra's down air not only spikes like across the entirety of the move for some ungodly reason, it also is super active, and it will clip you from, like, you could be, if you're like Martha Lucina, it has to be right down the middle. But I've seen Pyra's spike me and other players while coming back to stage with their body positioned like like this, like completely awry here, and still getting the spike hitbox, hitting that sweet spot. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if you hit the sour spot, it sends at a weird angle and you'll probably cross up your DI and kill you super early anyway. So there's no winning with Pyra at all. Same thing with forward air. Same thing with back air. Back air is so ridiculously strong. It kills you way too early. And if you hit with the sour spot, and sour spot I put in quotations here because this move is broken. Both hitboxes send you at different angles, will cross up your DI, and will kill you super early. It doesn't matter which one you get hit by. Same thing with Nair. Nair's sour spot isn't too egregious, but the sweet spot is way too strong. No Nair should be killing it like 130%, but Pyra's can absolutely do that, and it's not too hard to hit. It's a pretty fast move. So all of her aerials are just way too strong, way too active, and that's the biggest problem. She not only can like clip most of your recovery options or bait things out, she also just puts you in unwinnable situations half the time. And if she just is patient and guesses right, you're going to lose your stock 90% of the time. Her smash attacks are way too strong and way too safe. The fact that they're laggy means absolutely nothing because it does so much shield stun and pushes you so far back. If you just swing with F smash, you're probably not going to get punished for it 90% of the time. It's just insane to see that. Down smash is way too fast and way too lagless. Up smash scoops like nobody's business and is way too strong. I will say that about Pyra over and over again. Way too strong in every single regard. It's just insane what this character can do. And not to mention that you can combo down air into up smash or down air into up air or down tilt at ledge 2-frame into a double jump up air. Those are all true. And it's just, it's honestly just horrible to see. This character has gotten more broken over time, and it's just awful. And the last thing I want to talk about with Pyra is her side B. Her side B, most people will see as not that great of a tool at the beginning of when they got released because it was so reactable, but Pyra can move around while side B is thrown, which means she has freedom to get away, shield, spot dodge, air dodge. She can do whatever she wants while you're trapped in the spinning vortex of doom. She can footstool out of you, out of the hit if you're being trapped by it. There's no way to SDI out of it because of course there isn't. Can footstool out of it and put you in a tech situation where you're probably going to die or lose your stock shortly after because you're going to put in disadvantage. Or if she whiffs, she can just run away and make it really safe. It's just a stupid option. It's a very safe ledge trap tool as well if you don't want to be worrying about down tilt. And there's another ledge trapping. If you want to ledge guard instead, you can jump off and charge neutral B, and most of the cast cannot deal with that, especially if you're out of resources. The hitbox is huge. It will trap you in it and explode. The hitbox at the end is way too big. She can let go of it at any time. It's not like a specific timing thing. It's just really easy to use, and it's really broken. I don't know why more don't use it off stage. Probably because pros are just better at mixing up the recovery, but I just wanted to say it because it's just a crazy broken tool, and I don't know why I don't see it more often. Probably because I don't see a whole lot of Pyra Mythra mains out there in general. The only not broken thing about Pyra and Mythra is Mythra's side B. Side B has a lot of active frames. It's really annoying, especially online, but it's incredibly abusable. If you have to use it off stage to recover, you are getting spiked every single time. Pro players will not give you any mercy on that move. It's not like the end lag for that move is long enough for you to jump off and spike, which is amazing. Thank goodness for that, because everything else in their kit is extremely broken. This character is so crazy, and most pros will say that this is a top 3, top 5 minimum character in the entire game, and I think they're absolutely right. I think it's hard to like 100% pin down a top 3 character if not many people are solo maining it. But if you look at the players that do incredibly well with it, you've got Spargo, you've got MKLeo that played Pyra Mythra for a very long time and found great success with it. You have Cosmos that has been doing it, got second at Smash World Tour, took a break for a while, is coming back and doing extremely well again. You've got Shuton, there we go. Olimar and Pyra Mythra co-main absolutely slays with the character whenever he brings her out. It's very terrifying. So there are people doing it at the top level. It's just funny to see that we don't see many solo mains, at least not many like doing it at the top level. Quick little addendum here, while editing this video, I completely forgot to talk about Mythra's foresight, so I have to talk about that really fast because it is absolutely atrocious what they did with this character. They gave her essentially what is Bats Within from Bayonetta's kit, but better in every conceivable way. When Bayonetta uses it, she like goes sideways down, whatever. She goes away from the character and gets at a disadvantage that way. If you don't know what the mechanic is, if you're holding air dodge with the character, I think this is how it works. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section down below. If you hold air dodge and the combo is not true and they clip you, you essentially get out of disadvantage for free. Mythra can do this as well, but she gets like a ton of intangibility frames where she can punish you hard for it. It's like parry times 50 for no apparent reason. There's just no reason why it's that strong, but it's just so freaking good. I exaggerate, of course, it doesn't give you that many active frames to respond, but it's like a much beefier parry. So Foresight is actually kind of broken too. Fortunately, Pyra does not have that as well, but that's crazy. Another little thing that I didn't mention before is that Pyra's jab kills early at ledge because of course it does, and all of her tilts do too because they're broken. So yeah, I just want to talk about that really fast. Make sure I slid that in there before I end this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Pyra Mythra. Is there anything else I missed? What do you think of the character? Let me know if I'm wrong. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.